Hello, Miss. Hello, everyone. My name is Marco Antonio Quilumba. Here is my ID card. Yeah, today I'm going to talk about agreement and government cases. Now, I'm going to tell you one of my stories about difficulties I went through when I was in the first semester of the university. Firstly, I want to say that in the secondary school, I did not learn any English. The way I made sentences, it was terrible. An example of this was when I went to the whiteboard and wrote the sentences. My father worked in the hospital, which should have written, my father works in the hospital. Or Nicholas Maths is fantastic, which should have written, Nicholas Maths is fantastic. Maybe because my school was a public from the government, or maybe because I learned very slow. In fact, the classes were interesting, but also the classes were with too many students. Possibly that was the cause. Despite this background, I decided to go the university to study pedagogy in foreign languages. In fact, my son loves that I study English, and I love to study English too. And of course, as expected, at the beginning it was difficult for me, since the base I had was poor. Once I have told you all the details about my past, I will tell you how I did in my first semester of the subject listening and speaking with Professor Fabian. But first, I want to say that he is my best teacher at the university because Fabian gives his best to the students. I would have liked Professor Fabian to have been in the secondary school to learn English, or rather, Professor Fabian and all the professors at the UTPL are very good teachers. To continue with the first semester, I did very well since I learned a lot and also my friend learned English a lot. I think he loves to study English. He loves his grammar since he was in the top positions in the subject of reading and writing. He was the best student in that subject. In order to explain agreements and government, I put some colors. For example, colors means agreement. Yellow means agreement. Green means genitive case. Blue light means a normative case. Purple, the accusative case. Now I'm going to explain you what is agreement. Agreement is the concordance, also known as concord. It's a fundamental concept in the grammar since it refers to the relationship or agreement between the different elements within sentences. For example, the relationship or agreement between the verb and the subject. For example, I'm going to talk about some rules, yeah, in order to have coherence. For example, in the first case, I am going to tell you. This is a good structure. For example, you put the verb in the right way. I am going to tell you. This is this sentence. It doesn't have coherence because I are. Yeah, it sounds very bad. When you see the sentences, you can see the coherence. I are. You have to write I am. The verb I am. Yeah, I am going to tell you. Yeah, another example, another case, for example, my father works in the hospital. My father works in the hospital. This is good structure. No, this is not good. For example, my father work in this hospital. Bad structure. I'm going to give you a tip. For example, when I work, you don't have to add you don't have to add s. When you have a singular, for example, he, she, it, you have to add s in the verb. For example, he works, she works, it works. For example, my father is singular. My father works in the hospital. You see? Yeah, this is wrong. My father work without S in the hospital. This is bad structure. Yeah. In another case, for example, here, these sentences are good structure, but one of them is in singular, another is in plural. When it's plural, you don't have to put S in the verb. In singular, you have to add S when it's singular. In the verb, you have to add. For example, she runs every morning to the school. This singular. If you notice, you have to add S in the verb. When it's plural, you don't have to put it. You see, they run together to the hospital. This is plural. You see, when it's plural, you don't have to put S and run. If you see here, yeah. Another case, for example, those sentences are good. For example, the team is strong. Yeah, you see, it's the team. It's just one team. The one team. The team is strong. Talking about singular subject. This is singular. Yeah. The team members. They talking about all the people, all the members. That is plural. That's why you have to put are. For example, the team members are strong. The verbs have to have agreement with the subject. Another example, for example, they put the group is nice. The group is good. You have to put is because they're talking about just one group. No, for example, the teams are group. The teams, for example, is plural. It's plural. You have to put the teams, many teams, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams. The teams are good or are nice, whatever. Yeah, because it's plural. You know. Another case, for example, Professor Fabian and all the professor at UTPL are very good. When you have two elements is linking for the word and, you have to put are because is plural because both elements going together. For example, another case is, for example, Paula or Marco is coming. You have to put just in singular, not in plural, because just one of them is coming. Paula or Marco is coming. Yeah. In agreement, we have a formal agreement and notional agreement. For example, in formal agreement, you understand straight away how you write it. For example, he is my best friend. In notional agreement, you don't understand straight away when you write about the structure. You have to understand the concept. The concept. For example, he was my best friend. It's good. It's well structured because he is singular. You put a verb in singular. He was my best friend. Yeah, but I want he were here again. Why you don't put was? No, because I decide we're here again. Yeah, I want to be. I want to see him again here. Yeah, that's why I put where. Just in notional agreement, we have to understand or we have to notice the concept. Yeah, let's continue. Now I'm going to explain you what is government. Government refers to the relationship between a governing word, such as a verb or prepositions, and its dependence. The concept of government is essential for understanding how words interact with sentences. Here are the cases. Nominative case, it refers to the nouns or pronouns used as a subject like in this example. For example, this pronoun is a subject, or you can use a noun. For Marco loves to study English, or he is a pronoun. For example, in this case is a pronoun. You can use he, she, it, you, they. For example, in these cases, he loves to study English. The verb is loves. Subject is he. You in these sentences you use a pronoun as a subject. In another case, genitive case. It's also known as a possessive case. This word is a clue, possessive case, you know, and is used to show it can use apostrophes too. For example, Nicholas that, you know, Nicholas that, yeah, express possession. And the first sentences show you with apostrophe. Apostrophe means possessive. When the word finish with s, just you have to put apostrophe. If it doesn't finish with s, you have to put apostrophe and s. For example, in this case, Nicholas. Nicholas, mathematics is fantastic. You know the verb is, yeah. And yeah, you can write in different way. The mathematics of Nicholas. Here you don't need to put apostrophe, but the mathematics belongs Nicholas. For example, the mathematics of Nicholas is fantastic. The verb is. You see? And another example, for example, his is a possessive pronouns. His mathematics is fantastic. The verb is. If you see, these three sentences mean the same, but you write with apostrophe or with the word of or with a possessive pronoun. You see, and the verb is. If you notice, yeah. Let's continue. The accusative case is used for direct object of a verb. It indicates the noun or pronouns that receive the action. For example, my friend learned English a lot. Learn is the verb, you know. My friend is the subject. For example, direct object. He learned it, you know. Straight away, the direct object. He learned it, you know. And dative case, for example, in this case represents the indirect object or the receipt of action. They answer the questions to whom or for whom, you know. The indirect object. In this example, my son loves me to study English, you know. The verb loves, the indirect object is me. For example, he loves that I, you know, I is me, this indirect object, you know, to study English. To whom? To whom loves Nicholas to study English? You know, to whom? Yeah, for me, you know. An oblique object, I have this example. Fabian gave his best to the student. His best to the student. You know, oblique object. He gave his best. His best. But Fabian gives his best for whom? For them. For them. To them. You know, he gives his best for whom? For them. In this case, he gave his best to them, you know. Thank you so much. I hope you understand me and have a good day. Bye.